What's going on, people? Good evening. Welcome to United View emergency late stream. We had to do it because, in the words of Fleck, it's all going off on social media. It's all going off in terms of the Qatari side of the media, who are reporting that Qatar and Sheikh Jassim have won the bid to acquire Manchester United. It's staggering. The share price has gone up in the last hour or so. We've got reports from papers in Qatar that are linked exclusively to Sheikh Jassim's father, who owns half of this paper that is reporting this, and all other outlets in Qatar are reporting this. We have to stress there is nothing from the British journalists, and we have to stress that there is no official confirmation. This does not mean it's happening, but let's just get straight to the facts and let's just get straight into why we are live and what exactly is out there, factual information, Owen. What is out there and what is being reported by the Qatari media?
Yeah, this is a really fascinating one. And as Flex mentioned, it's a developing story. It's a breaking story. It's the reason we're live at 11:15 BST here in the UK. And that is because really for the first time, we're starting to hear a lot of, I guess, concrete reports coming out of Qatar. Now, as Flex says, it must be stressed. No British-based journalists, no Mike Keegans, no Ben Jacobs, Richard Romano's, Ornsteins, or whoever. They haven't gone with this yet, but certainly there's a story to be told here. So the newspaper in question is called Al Watan, which is a daily morning Arabic language political newspaper based in Doha, Qatar. Now, obviously, you're saying, well, are you just saying this because it's a Qatari newspaper? Not so much, because it's actually 50% owned by Hamad bin Jassim Al Thani, the father of Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani. And they are saying, and this is sort of translated Arabic, so apologies if the translation isn't exact, but they're saying that the success of Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's acquisition of Manchester United, I guess, is complete, and an announcement on the deal is coming soon. The editor in question of the newspaper himself, Fahid Del Mahdi, again, apologies, I've probably butchered the name massively here, is saying that all of the news received indicates the success of Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's acquisition of Manchester United. And again, the announcement of the deal will be very soon. Again, it must be stressed, these are reports coming out of Qatar, out of Doha, from a publication, an outlet that is 50% owned by Sheikh Jassim's father. I think, frankly, had that latter part there, the ownership situation by his father not been confirmed, then maybe we wouldn't be live. We'd be saying, well, we'll wait and see. I think it's the fact that it's actually from a paper, an outlet that is owned by the family, is significant in itself. And certainly it's got social media talking, but it's also got Wall Street talking as well, because obviously the New York Stock Exchange has closed at this point, but the after hours share price is going a bit crazy at the moment. It closed at $20 and it's going very much up and down. It's peaked as high as nearly $24 in the last, again, hour or so. It's going up and down like this. I probably would assume, Flex, that's because, like us, they're trying to figure out what is going on at this point.
What's going on here?
They're hearing stuff going, what do we do? What's going on? What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Because, again, as I've said 3 or 4 times, but it must be stressed, it's not confirmed or anything like that. But I shout out Minna, who had said on a Full View a few weeks ago, she said, we haven't really heard anything from that part of the world that much, from Qatari media or certainly Middle Eastern media. But she did say the moment that happens, pay attention. And certainly social media at the moment is paying a lot of attention. What are your thoughts?
I think we have to relax. I think we have to keep calm, and I think we have to dissect what's happening versus what isn't happening, what's confirmed versus what isn't confirmed. That's what I would say. I would say that this doesn't mean that it's done. This doesn't mean it's true, but it is significant. And from media speculation from that side of the coin, the Qatari side of the coin, and the share price aspect of it, I think is significant. You can't ignore that. And the second part, like you said, of the statement of that Sheikh Jassim's father owns half of the newspaper. So you would question if the newspaper could attach themselves so strongly to such a big statement, given that the father of Sheikh Jassim owns half of this newspaper. So that is significant. And also what I think is actually at the top of the pile, which we've said throughout this whole process, and like what you said, Minna was saying, The Qataris have not been speaking, that the media have been quiet. And how many times have we speculated that we think, i.e., I can only speak for me and you, Owen, because I know we share the same view. Let us know what you guys think at home. But it's not that far off to think that, well, the British journalists and the British media are not really getting anything from that far of that side of the world. It was only yesterday or the day before, the mystique, it was being reported, but that the mystique surrounding Sheikh Jassim is seen as a negative, and then we see that a month ago, the Glazers are reaching out to Nasir because they want to engage with Sheikh Jassim, etc. Maybe that's just how these people conduct their business. We spoke about that on the Full View a few times. That's how they choose to conduct their business. They're not putting leaks out every 5 minutes. They're not talking to a lot of the journalists over this side of the world. We know, could you call it strained relations? I don't know. It's an episode of Owen Fools and Horses. That is one of my favorites. But it's not that relationship isn't there. So when we're getting stuff fed to us constantly from Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos over this side of the coin, there's far more greater chance of the British media being kept up to date with things and being notified of things from Sir Jim Ratcliffe than there is from Qatar. And we've always said, if and when the Qatari media speak, it'd be interesting to see what they say and when they say it. And my God, that's big. That's big for them to say that. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean we wake up tomorrow morning and it's all done. It doesn't mean that. We don't know. There's going to be a lot of you in the comments at home watching silently, even if you're not in the comments. There's going to be a lot of you saying, I'm not believing anything until you get the cosign from our domestic journalists. But I would say to you, and this is to open up the conversation and encourage everyone to make their own judgment on this, because essentially none of us know. We can only go off the feelings we have personally. I would encourage you to say, well, just be careful with only waiting for this side of the water to confirm things, because as we've seen, they've had it right that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been the front runner for a long time. They've had it right that Sheikh Jassim was pissed off and going to walk away. They've had it a lot of ways out of ambiguity towards that side and not really knowing what they think. So maybe they've ran with a narrative. I don't know. But they've definitely pushed the Sir Jim Ratcliffe side because of more information coming through. Fair enough. A lot of good journalists have done a lot of good stuff surrounding it. Mike Keegan, Ben Jacobs, etc., etc. Yes, maybe let's wait for those guys to see. But what I'm saying is it doesn't mean either way, whether it's Qatar or that. What we have learned is that it isn't all one side, and if one media outlet claims something, it's definitely true. That's what we do know.
Yeah, and I think also as well, we do have to open ourselves up to the possibility, like we might wake up tomorrow morning and then be like, oh, all that stuff last night, it was all BS. This could happen. But as we mentioned when we were sort of going through those stories, certainly this information is coming from legitimate outlets in Qatar, i.e. they do exist. This isn't a Twitter parody account or anything like that. It literally does come from the Al Watan Qatari account, which has got close to, again, 300,000 followers. It is 50% owned by Sheikh Jassim's father, too, which again is significant, that being Hamid bin Jassim Al Thani, which again is significant. One would think logically, surely that kind of information, if it wasn't true, wouldn't come from a publication that was co-owned by his father. You would logically think they would have those kind of sort of insider sources, i.e. his dad owns the thing. So he goes, hey, Dad, it's happening. And they put it out there. What is quite interesting with it as well is that it didn't, whilst at the moment, this is, again, taken social media by fire and, again, must be stressed. We're still waiting on the David Ornstein. We're still waiting.
Can't stress that enough.
We're still waiting on the Fabrizio Romano. We're still waiting on the Mike Keegan, Ben Jacobs, as you mentioned, the people that have really hit this whole saga very, very hard. We're still waiting on that. But what is interesting is that actually the tweet and the post in question actually went up 3 hours ago on the Al Watan sort of Twitter account and on their sort of social media profiles.
It took a while to get over it,
and it's only really in the sort of, in the last hour that people have started to go like, oh, this might be a thing. But as I said before, which is also significant, obviously the stock market can be very volatile and it can react to anything, even rumors. But the fact that we have seen these spikes in the stock market after closing today clearly they're listening or they're paying attention to what they're hearing as well, which again is significant. But at the same time, just looking at the stock price now, certainly like around 5 o'clock when it closed into 6 o'clock, it went like that. And since then, it's kind of gone a bit like this. Because again, I think that even they're probably those people are trying to substantiate, like, is any of this real?
Is it real?
Is any of this true? What sources are there? And maybe, like you said, because there is such a, you know, a lack of familiarity with the media in Qatar, then everything's obviously dealt with skepticism, isn't it? Because they're like, well, I don't know. There might be people that are based in that region that swear by this outlook. And well, if they say it, then it's true. But we just don't know. So we're now in a stage whereby I think, like you said earlier on, it can't be stress. You can't get carried away. And two, it's just another part of this takeover saga, isn't it?
I think it's that. And that's why I really want us to again, not to be killjoys here, guys. But I say that there's nothing really to be killjoys about. All we can do is talk about the facts. Talk about the facts of this. And the real facts are, this is media. This is media. Although it's media closer to home of Sheikh Jassim, although it's media literally owned by 50% of his father, it's still media. It isn't anything official. This isn't an official statement from the 9-2 Foundation. It certainly isn't anything from the Glazers or Rain or anything like that. It isn't that. Like none of this has been throughout the whole thing, really, apart from to clear up some like silly rumors where, you know, they've denied that they're not part of the state-owned, or they've Nasser denied that, you know, he's part of the process and things like that, where they are from the horse's mouth. Yeah, very, very rare. Very few things have been from the horse's mouth throughout this process, because that's just probably not how this is supposed to be conducted. So we do have to stress that. And we also have to stress that although the reports are saying it's imminent, it doesn't mean it is. Like Owen says, we can wake up in the morning and some of our favorite domestic journalists could shit on this. Like, do you know what I mean? They really can.
Honestly, I'm half expecting.
They really can. Exactly. You know? That doesn't mean we shouldn't have spoken about this now in the moment.
No.
You know? No. That doesn't mean that. And I think that's why it's important for us to be live now to talk about this, but not necessarily be like, I tell you what, don't get me wrong. Yeah, if KG was on here, you know, yes, if a lot of people were on here, it's happening. You can have that feeling. You can have that feeling. I'm not. It's just that we're not on here telling you to have that feeling because of this. It's all personal. And actually, you know what, Owen? We are here to report the news and what's going on. But just for 5 minutes, let's talk about our feelings. Yeah. Let's take ourselves away, because I know it's hard. We're in the news. We're making sure that, you know, we got a responsibility with a platform. You know, you can't be out here with a big platform, and this platform's way bigger than us as well. But we all got our responsibilities in this field to not put out fake news, to not scaremonger, to not try to persuade people left or right. But we have a duty to kind of talk about what's out there. But we're on here to give our opinions as well as Man United fans. Let's just get into that bag for 5 minutes. Yeah. Honestly, take all of your professionalism off as a fan. Owen as a fan. Yeah. How are you feeling seeing that? And how significant do you actually think that is? As Owen.
As Owen, yeah. It does feel like, doesn't it? And I've been saying this a lot the last few days, that I've been saying I sound like that Barcelona journalist when I say things are happening, you know, things are happening. But it has felt like that the last couple of days. And I think you'd be naive. I think you'd be naive to, again, because like you and I, we have looked at these outlets like 3 or 4 times at this point to keep going like, is this definitely real? Is this definitely a thing? And it is definitely a thing. Like, again, the news is there. So as a fan, you go, well, maybe we are close to getting this thing done. Maybe we are. What does happen next? I mean, they're saying an announcement soon. What soon? Define soon. Yeah. You know, because again, thinking about it logically, from a New York Stock Exchange point of view, that would have to be before the market opens. So if they say soon, is that tomorrow morning? Is that before, again, the stock exchange opens? Or if it's not tomorrow, then when is it? The domestic journalists did all say Sunday, didn't they, that expect something this week? But then even that got kind of dampened very quickly with don't expect exclusivity or preferred bidder, because no one's a preferred bidder or no one's an exclusive bidder. So they're both doing their due diligence in that sense. So as a fan, my just thought process is just maybe we are at the end of this, Fleck. Maybe this is the beginning. Maybe this is one of those things when they say, and I keep Minna's words keep ringing in my head when she said, when they talk, listen. And it would appear they're talking.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
With something significant. Well, before I say how I'm feeling, I just have to say a lot of people are putting it in the chat right now. There's over 4,000 people watching live. And that, I can tell you for free, is a United View record. So we just have to have a round of applause there for all of you guys with what you've built there. That is insane. That is crazy. Never expected to see that. That is insane. And I got to get you guys super chats out, and I want to get as many of you comments that aren't super chats and members chats, just everybody. Right. Olu says it's a news roundup, not a press release. Read again. Witterbird has gifted 5 UV memberships. 5 UV memberships. EMXG, been a member for 7 months. Says, don't gas me up, Flex or Owen. We're trying not to gas you up. We're just reporting what's happened over the last few hours. Because actually, it is important, actually, like Owen said, this hasn't just dropped just now. It's only gathered the real momentum now with the stock market changing, with more outlets coming to the party. But this did happen quite a few hours ago. Monty says, Mbappe, Qatar, United stars are aligning. Glory, glory, Man United. Chris Johnson says, my birthday is the 30th of June. It'd be the best present ever. Fingers crossed for you there, Chris. UV, thank you for the contribution. Ahmed, always here supporting, says, let me tell you, if Qatar said it's done, it's done. They would never embarrass themselves with mere speculation. Ahmed's words, not mine. KG's hype man says, Mbappe incoming, coincidence, contract announcement. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. We haven't even got that.
Don't even get me started on Mbappe. I've been sending Flex messages today.
Honestly, I'm just trying to watch Spider-Man. I'm just trying to
watch I know.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Later, yeah.
Rocket says, Matt Hargreaves is the new director of football negotiations also. Dan Watson says, surely they wouldn't be able to print something like that if not true. Journalism over there is very different to here. Would be very embarrassing. And that's the sort of things that we were, talking about. That's the sort of things we meant. James Clough says, nearly 3K watching live, which is now over 4K, James, now. Could this finally be it? We got Glazers out. Say we got Glazers out. We don't know. We don't know, James. I can't say that.
No.
I definitely can't say that, bro. Ahmed has gifted 20. He's gifted 20 memberships. Again. How many super chat? How many memberships has Ahmed gifted in the last week? Didn't he gift 100 the other day?
He's king member. He's
Sheikh Ahmed.
He's the leader. He's the leader of the UV membership. That's his domain. Big up Ahmed, as always. Long-time supporter.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And Witterbird as well. Yes. Right there with him. She's been unbelievable as well. And all of our mods, Smee as well. Lil Yo-Yo. Min is a mod. She's there right now. Ahmed is Jassim's relative, she says. So big up to everyone. Witterbird says, so is this an actual water breaking or Braxton Hicks? I had them, and it can be soul destroying. So is this an actual water breaking or Braxton Hicks?
Is Braxton Hicks, now call me crazy, yeah? Braxton Hicks, is that like Cockney rhyme and slang?
It's got to be in it, as in for tricks.
Oh, I thought shits.
Or shits.
Like, is this water breaking? Is this actually legitimate?
Yeah, is it real or is it not?
Diarrhea.
Yeah. Exactly. Fake contractions. Mina says Braxton Hicks is fake contractions.
I thought it was diarrhea.
but
it
we
works.
Get what she means. Yeah, we get what she means. We don't know. We don't know. That's the truth for it. We don't know, Vicky. Andy been a member for 11 months, nearly a whole year. Says forget Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The best owner has been you, Flex. Look at what you've created with UV. Big up yourself and Owen for truly being incredible guys. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that.
Thank you.
That means a lot. Yeah, thank you so much, bro. Oh gosh, there's loads of super chats. Well, I just scrolled 1 second, and everything just went. Marlon says, if true, as a fan, it's over for City. We're coming. Easy, Marlon. Let's just get him in the door. Let's just see. Tox says, Al Akbar. Oral says, Flex, bro, you don't look so good. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm just startled.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was sitting down, relaxing. It's hot. And I've been trying to watch this Spider-Man thing for ages. The first Miles Morales. I've been speaking to KG and Josh and Owen. I said, is that any good? Is it worth me watching that? And then, because I want to see this new one, I said, I saw the kid in Jordans, man. So I want to watch it. And they were like, it's really good. So I was just watching that. I was messaging Owen saying, oh, is that? No spoilers, so I won't do that. But I know all of you have probably seen it. I was like, oh, Owen, does that mean this? And does that mean that? He's like, yeah, this means that. And I was like, well, I heard
what happened is I called him, and I went, this is happening, and Flex went, what? What? But I think that's everyone's reaction. And to be fair, we talk about why it took a while to catch on. Maybe it took a while to catch on because everyone rightfully so trying to do their due diligence, looking up, going, what's this paper? It's owned by who? It's from where? Is that real? Check the tweet. Oh, it's actually on the account. Yeah, that's significant. Check the editor. That's on the account as well. Maybe that's part of it as well. So I think Flex is like all of us. We're all stunned at the moment.
I'm just startled. Usni says, my sister's getting married in a couple of days and I'm here looking for an official club statement. I just want to tweet today. I feel Qatari. Congratulations to your sister. I hope you guys go there to have a wherever she's getting married. Hope you have a great family day, and hopefully you get the tweet or official club statement that you're looking for. Ryan91 says, all love from Saudi, Flex. Hope Qatar win. Big up to everyone out there in Saudi. GJE says, I expected Qataris to do it. If not, Glazers would have accepted Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid months ago. That's definitely been a general consensus the last few days / a week. We've been like, with that fifth bid going in, they're hanging around, aren't they? They're hanging around.
But I still said that they have done it as well.
Absolutely.
Just stress.
Just stress. Daniel Bradbury says, Fleck, today I feel Qatari. Cosmic says, got back from Download Festival today. And this news follows. Best week ever. Not done yet. Even the word yet, it's like, we just have to say it's not done. That's all we can say. But big up, Cosmic. It looks like you've had a great week. Marcus says, boys praying for a successful Qatari bid. Play simple. Oh, where's that gone? Jeez. If Qatar buys, we need to see Flex Altani in full clothing. Listen, I'm telling you now, Flex.
He's got the garments, yeah.
I'm telling you.
He's got the garments.
I'm telling you now. I do have them. I did bring them back from Qatar. They are in my wardrobe right now. All of it. Full thobe. So, listen, let's just wait. Stockton says, Fabrizio, bomber about Mbappe just now. The Mbappe thing was crazy. Exactly. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Shyam says, Qatar takeover and Mbappe news coming almost at the same time. Something's cooking. What do you reckon? Nathan, been a member for 11 months, says, big up the UV man them. I'm gassed and I'm trying to calm down, but I can't. You have to keep calm. I am going to advise you to keep calm because we don't know, bro. We don't know, Nathan. Do you know what I'm saying? This is coming from Qatar. It is significant, but there's a long way to go. I still think there is in terms of confirming it. It might not be a long time in the process of it happening and finishing. Maybe we are in the end game. But there's still a bit of a way to go in terms of who confirms this thing and who speaks in the next few days on this. Or does anybody? Do people just back this off and never talk about it ever again? Then all of a sudden, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's named as the favourite. We don't know, or the owner, should I say. Oral says, I will Thanos snap and Mbappe is a United player. Shahil says, oh my God, it's a morning show for me. Big ups. Wow, it's definitely not a morning show for us. Basically 10 past 11 at night here. But big up to you. At least you get a nice morning show there, Shahil. Andy says, just thinking, should UV run a summer party if the Glazers are out? Wow.
I don't think it should be UV. I think it would be
everyone.
every United fan, pretty much, wouldn't it?
Exactly. United Kev says, we are finally in the end game, lads. Same day City celebrate their treble. This news will soothe the pain. Keep up the good work. Love your show. Big up to you, United Kev. Anthony says, it's been 202 days since the Glazers announced they are seeking strategic alternatives for our club. Hopefully that is ending soon and they are gone. And Shunak says, I'm having 3 shots, lads. Our club may just be back. Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't go drinking and doing shots at 10 past 11 at night on a Monday night with no confirmation. Pratish says, Flex, can we finally dream of Kane, Caicedo, and Onana? I don't know if we can dream, so hold fire. Alex says, the Daily Mirror is now reporting that Qatar have won. Owen, don't know if you can do some due diligence on that.
I will have a check on that.
And Usni says, my sister, we've read that one already. And Memphis Depay says, Mirror Football tweeted about it, slowly picking up. So, I mean, I think what the main, unless our journalists know, I think what we'll get now is probably our mainstream, not just the journalists close to Man United, but maybe some of the mainstream publications, just picking up on the publications from Qatar, saying doing what we're doing right now, saying there is Qatari outlets that are saying this. And that's what I think will happen.
Yes, indeed. So just to give a bit of an update for the Mirror as to what they're saying, they're basically, like you said, saying what we are saying at the moment, saying Sheikh Jassim has apparently been successful with his bid to buy Manchester United, according to triumphant reports from Qatari media. Qatari bank, and that goes into who he is, blah, blah, blah. Sheikh Jassim's offer for the entirety of United has now won the day, according to Qatari outlet Al Watan, an organization that his father, the country's former prime minister, Jassim bin Jabbar Al Thani, owns. The outlet tweeted on Monday night that an announcement of the deal would come soon. It would bring some sort of closure to the saga that has rumbled on for months. So essentially, they're just sort of saying what we are saying there as well, saying that, again, stuff's happening.
Yeah. Also, guys, again, on social media, don't be a victim to, all of these fake accounts. There's some fake Romano accounts being made. Yeah, fake Ornsteins. I mean, and then some of these were from 7 hours ago. And a good friend of mine at TalkSport, Anil, he tweeted sort of 6 hours ago saying that, reports in Qatar are claiming this. But like we said, it's only now that, if you look at what's trending on Twitter, MUFC Takeover, Jassim, and Mbappe, that shows you where it's at. And look, things aren't won and lost all decided on social media. So you have to be careful. We're in this social media world, and we know that, you guys know that, that's what this is. It's a fan channel. There's a lot on social media. I get it, but we can't ignore it. We can't ignore this, Owen, can we?
No, we can't. And again, like I said when we started, there certainly feels like there's a story to tell, certainly, isn't there, this evening? And that story is essentially what the Mirror was just saying, that these Qatari outlets they're pretty triumphant in their victory. As they said, I think triumphant's an appropriate word to describe what they're saying. I mean, they're saying it's done. Now, that's not what we're saying, but that's what they're saying. It's done. And it's
significant.
Like I said,
you can't dress it up, can you? It is significant.
Exactly. And even if we do wake up tomorrow morning and Mike Keegan and all of those guys say, don't be so foolish, or there's been no confirmation, it's not done, all that kind of stuff, there still, as I mentioned, was a story to be told this evening, because an outlet that is 50% owned by the bidder's father is saying that it's done. And logically, you would say, where did you get that information from? And it's not too difficult to disseminate, most likely, where they would have got it from, or at least people close to the bid. So again, that's very significant.
It's definitely catching on now. Look, even United Stand have gone live in the last couple of minutes. Qatar wins, same as us, got the same thumbnail. Everyone's jumping on now. That's what it is. Everyone's seeing it now, and everyone's like, we got to talk about this. It doesn't matter what outlet you're from, whether you're Stretford Paddock, whether you're United Stand, whether you're the Daily Mirror, whether you're TalkSport. This is significant. That's what's happening. This is significant news. You can't dodge it.
No, even if the story is, again, that they come out and go, yeah, it was all BS, that itself is a significant story. You know, the fact that this is happening this evening is significant, and I do think now, as I mentioned, I think all eyes do turn to tomorrow morning and sort of tomorrow. Again, morning, midday-ish, just before the stock market opens, because I think a lot of people will be looking around to say, "Are we going to hear something?" Because, as we said, from a shareholder point of view, they have to announce something if a deal is close. And is that what's going to happen? We're mere hours away.
Imagine what's going to be so interesting is to see what domestic journalists do.
Goes first.
I think. Your Mike Keegan, your Ben Jacobs. I'm surprised they haven't put a little something out now. I don't know whether they close for working hours this late. Who knows? But let's, you kind of just waiting to see. Like I said earlier in the stream, right at the top of the show, actually, we can't just base it all on what they say. We can't just wait for them to say something and take that as gospel, because, like we said, if we use that notion, then technically a lot of what they've said hasn't really added up to this, has it? That Sir Jim Ratcliffe is comfortable, good conversations with the Glazers, he's front runner, mystique around Sheikh Jassim. Can't separate the two entities, problems of ownership, Premier League clubs getting angry. Like it's all been quite negative, or the reason why it shouldn't be them because of the lack of access to them. So at the same time, we have to think, well, then how reliable is it us waiting for them to either confirm or deny what's going on here? And actually, should we expect them to know? Because let's face it, they haven't had an inroad to Qatar this whole time. They haven't had a relationship with Qatar this whole time. So why would they have one now? Realistically, they'll probably just be like the Daily Star, where they're like, bloody hell, they're reporting that. Did you see that? They're only going to be able to regurgitate. I'll be shocked if Mike Keegan goes, yeah, well, my sources have said, that, yeah, it's true. An announcement's coming soon. I will be shocked. I would be. I'd be happy, but I'd be shocked.
What is quite interesting, actually, is, and this is, again, a reputable source, certainly from an economic point of view, is Faisal Islam, who is the economics editor for the BBC, is now tweeting about this. Now, they recorded a podcast, and it's called How to Buy a Football Club. They do it with Simon Stone. It's a BBC podcast. It's very good. I'd recommend listening to it. But he's tweeted in the last few minutes saying, our latest on this, when recorded this morning, when I said I felt we were in the end game and it was heading Qatar's way. He continues, in after hours trading in New York, Manchester United shares spiked 17%. That is traders betting the Glazers are about to sell to Sheikh Jassim of Qatar. Everyone involved is keeping tight-lipped, though. My colleague Simon Stone, he talks about talking to the PSG boss, blah, blah, blah. But he continues by saying share spike still going up 16% since close, $20 already up 4% on day at $23.05. According to Market Watch, it's about 190,000 shares trading after hours, so worth $4 million. Thin trade, but excitable for after hours trade. So you've now even got the BBC economics editor, Faisal Islam, reporting that, like, again, from an economic point of view, in terms of the stock price. So again, even if that's the story, something's happening with the stock price this evening. Yeah. And his speculation and his speculation is that's because they're edging their bets that this announcement is incoming, or certainly there's been major developments, major movements on it too. And as he said, when he recorded his podcast this morning, he felt that we were in the end game, and he felt that it was heading towards the Qataris. And seemingly his tweet, trying to sort of read through the context of it, is suggesting that I think I might have been right.
It's mental, man. It's mental. I mean, it literally what it says there at the bottom screen, the Qatar media are literally claiming victory. Do you know how, like, when you actually deep that, yes, it's speculation, and it like I said, it's media. But for Qatar to literally claim victory, not, Sheikh Jassim is encouraged with talks with the Glazers, or Sheikh Jassim is, in the final phases, or he's optimistic, or the communication's been good, or Sheikh Jassim may submit a sixth bid. It's not anything like that. They're saying he's won. An expected announcement. No one's even said Sir Jim Ratcliffe's won.
No, they said he was leading the race, didn't they? That's what they said.
So they haven't got as far as leading the race.
Yeah, which again is interesting, and I think again, what is significant with what Faisal was saying there is that just from an economics point of view, take out speculation, take out the Qatari media, the stock market's reacting. And obviously, look, the stock market's largely based on speculation itself. But like I said, even that itself is a story, which again is fascinating. And I do think it is very curious that we've got near radio silence from British journalists this evening, because even if they picked up the phone to one of their sources and said, hey, is any of this true? And they got back, no, they would just tweet out, no, none of it's true. Or I haven't heard, or I can't confirm.
Yeah, if they all got that same briefing to say, listen, that's definitely dead.
The fact that there's nothing is very curious. At the same time, throughout this entire process, I mean, like I said, I think people have done really good work, like Mike Keegan, Ben Jacobs, etc. But no one's really been bang on the money, have they? It's all been speculation. No one's throughout this whole thing. We've all said no one knows what's going on. So they might still be they still might be in the dark of it going, we still don't know what's going on.
That last bit there, Owen, I think this here has taken them by as much surprise as us. I think, because the line of communication to the Qatari media, it hasn't been there.
It's not there.
Like, do you know what I mean? It hasn't. And actually, it still isn't. This isn't, it hasn't been Qatari journalists or Qatari media coming to the forefront and then engaging with, the Western media here to say, listen, this, and this. And then all of a sudden, all of our papers and all of our journalists are running with it. It's always been two separate entities. It always has. This whole process has been that. So I'm not surprised to see that. That's why I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they respond. I just think it will be as per this or as per reports from Qatar, this, that, and the other. But I think also as well, because of the magnitude of this and credibility, because the journalists aren't silly. Obviously, if you want to be a good journalist as well, I know that some journalists can look down on social media. And some journalists can say, in the real world, it's this, but, Twitter fans think this and stuff like that. I know that does happen a lot in journalism because of, where they've come from. And actually, a fan base is much bigger than a platform of Twitter or Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. But don't get it twisted. No journalist will want to mash up their reputation in this and say the wrong thing. They will be... before Simon Stone goes to say something, or before Laurie Whitwell, exactly. They need to be very, very careful, because if they come out and shut this down and laugh at it, it happens, they're in the mud, they're finished, they're done. Especially if they work within the Manchester United news reporting, all credibility is lost, because this is the biggest thing to happen to Manchester United.
In what?
Since our treble?
Well, since our last takeover, let's be honest.
In takeover terms, then since they came in 2005, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the biggest single thing, and this will have the biggest single effect on Man United for the next, like we said earlier, generations, years, many, many, many years.
And let's not forget as well, I remember, and it's on a lesser scale, but when Ralph Rangnick was appointed as the interim manager of Manchester United, do you remember Christian Falk when he came out and he said, it's not happening? They talked to him ages ago. They didn't like him since. They haven't seen him since. And then the next day, he was announced as the interim manager. And to your point, I'm talking about that now. That was like 18 months ago. People remember that stuff. People remember when you get it right, but they also remember it when you put your neck out on the line, you get it wrong. So I think they, like you said, they'd be looking at it this evening. But also, what we were kind of touching on, I think, I agree with you. I think they're probably just as stunned or surprised or just looking at it going like what? Like, again, what's going on? They're probably just as shocked as us. By the way, since there is over 3,100 people watching, still over 3K watching live, we are less than it's 96 subscribers away from 142K subscribers. By the way, Fleck.
Wow,
that's what we're looking at. So
96.
Again,
we can
96. So to cap off what would already be a pretty wild evening, if you haven't already, please do subscribe bottom right hand corner and click the notification bell, because as I've said over the last week or so, stuff like this will happen, whereby we will be going live at a drop of a moment's hat, because news like this will come out. And if you've got those notifications on, you get notified when we're live straight away. But maybe, maybe, we can get 142K.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's insane, because when we started, we had like this stream, we had 141,761 subscribers. So that's shot up right now to like 900, up to 904, which is insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
That would be a really big achievement to do that. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys have subscribed, but if you haven't, or you're new and you're just finding this channel right now, you know, when you're scouring the internet looking for some updates and you've managed to stumble across United View, hit that subscribe button and stay with us. You won't be disappointed. This is I mean, you look all over social media and it's like people think it's done.
But it's a weird feeling at the same time, isn't it? Because like you said,
weird.
There's this feeling of it's done, but then everyone's sort of going, but it's the silence that it's so loud on one side, but then the silence on the other side is so eerie almost, isn't it? It's like it's eerie. But does it feel like it's a calm before a storm kind of thing? Like, does the fact, but actually, the better way to phrase this is the fact that we've basically heard nothing from the domestic side of things. Does that make you more confident or more skeptical?
Well, actually, before I was going to give my opinion, I went into the super chats or something, didn't I? I went into whatever it was I said. So
yes.
Your question was, does this feel like there's something there? Does this?
Yeah.
It does. It does. And that's my honest fan opinion. I'm still cautious. You know, we've seen whether it be football transfers or, like you say, in takeovers like this, or in the world of football, when we think one thing, until, like they say, the old school, he's holding the shirt or whatever, it's not done till it's done. So I have got that in my mind, not even in the back of my mind, very much to the front of Flex. It's not done. This isn't saying, well, this report is saying it's done actually, but it's a report. You know, there's still plenty more sort of mechanisms that need to happen for it to be a unanimous across the board. Because, you know, like when the transfer gets announced and it's like, oh my God, we've got the player. It's undoubtable. All the media outlets are saying it. It's here we go. It's Ornstein. You know, here's the length of the contract. It's this, it's that. It really, really is. You know when it's true. Yeah. We're not there yet. But as a fan and as me, as Flex, when I've been very much in the middle, not being sure where this thing is going to go, how it's going to work out, what's going to happen, this is the biggest I've been towards going, I'll tell you what, something feels significant.
Well, also as well, look at the timeline involved here, okay? Because throughout a lot of this process, we've really never heard that Sheikh Jassim and the 9-2 Foundation have been leading the race. All we've ever heard is that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos were leading the race. Exactly. You know, we'd heard the bid's gone in, but we'd never really heard, oh, Sheikh Jassim's winning this, or he's close to winning this, or he's leading. It was only Ineos. They appeared to be the front runners. And again, that's why also it feels significant, not only because of where it's coming from, and again, that the outlet's owned by the guy's dad, but also it's because it's the first time that really, I say a credible outlet, but an outlet, which again, logically would make sense where the information is coming from, is going, nah, they're winning. Like, or it's done. Not even the fact that they're winning, it's done. They're not leading the race, it's done. That's what they're saying. So that's why also it feels significant. But again, I still have I still feel like I keep having to catch myself. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of where we're at too, is fans, probably quite a few fans this evening will be going to sleep thinking, maybe when I wake up in the morning, something's going to happen. Or are we
Some people don't want to go sleep.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I'm not going to sleep.
Or we now into the process again where we have to wait like another week. And we go, oh, remember that like a week ago? Because I've done so many of these takeover streams and shows, Flex. Yeah. I've done them where bids have gone in and then an hour later, they haven't gone in. I've done it where they said exclusivity is coming this week. And then an hour later, they go, exclusivity is never, ever going to come in this entire process. It's been so back and forth and so contradictory that, as I said, I'm not shocked by anything at this point. But this is the first time information's come from this place, as opposed to all of the
we haven't experienced this
before.
In this whole takeover saga, because it has been a saga, hasn't it? In this whole takeover saga, we haven't experienced what this feels like or looks like, which is Qatari representation coming to the forefront to say, we're from this part of the world and we're claiming this. Now, you know, people who are quite pessimistic or just, you know, level-headed or see things differently could say it's the same as the British journalists. They claim that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was the guy and it weren't. How do we know the Qataris aren't going to do the same thing?
Yeah,
you could say that, but there has been that kind of consensus of, kind of what Minna said, that if the Qataris speak, it means something. Listen, they don't speak for no reason. They've been what a W for the Qatari media to not say anything throughout the whole process. And if in true Kave fashion, if something significant happens over this next 24 hours, 48 hours, then that just means that they have taken one massive W. To not say anything this whole time and then just step through right at the end and
we'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Done,
right, this whole thing. But then
Mad.
I would, again, even that, it makes this whole takeover process laughable, because you go, so all of that stuff that happened for 7 months was just noise. And that's all it was. And people have been saying this the whole time. It's one of my theories. I think it's one of yours too, where you're going, and people have been saying it rightfully so. Like, if Ineos, and they still might win it, you never know. But if Ineos were to win it, their bid's been there for ages.
Yeah, and they haven't changed it.
Why haven't you gone? And for me, a massive red flag was that when David Ornstein reported that the Glazers had rung the PSG president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, to try and persuade Sheikh Jassim to put an increased bid in, logically, you step back and you go, why would you do that? Like, unless that's the person you want to sell the club to, or that's the avenue that you believe you can get the most money. Like, why would you do that? And even the revelation that was a month ago, you go, well, that was interesting. And then it does feel like in the last 7 days, with that new bid going in, the ultimatum that was or wasn't an ultimatum, depending on who you believe, and then now something's clearly happened in the last week, hasn't it? Something's clearly happened. And in fairness, domestic journalists also said that too, where they said that there's this renewed optimism with the 9-2 Foundation at the moment.
Yeah, since that's happened,
something's changed.
Yeah.
So that's significant too.
Yeah, I've just gone on to the official Manchester United website and gone to the stock tab, investor relations tab, just to see what the stock is now, and it still is that up by 4%, 3.98%. Up to $20.13 it says now, but that says it's up by 3.98%. So it definitely is, in terms of that look at trying to see, is that real, or, is that stock thing fake and stuff like that? It isn't. That is real.
Exactly. And again, and again, I think,
and it hasn't been there.
No. And the interesting part of that is that, as I mentioned, the BBC economics editor, looking at it just purely from that point of view, from an economic point of view, saying something's going on with the stock price tonight. To his point, he's saying, that's not me saying that the Qatari thing's done, but clearly Wall Street is hearing the same rumors that everyone else on social media is doing. And Wall Street trading stocks is a game of chance, essentially, and they're gambling on this information. They believe some of their sources or some of the chatter as well, or at the very least they go, it's worth a punt. I'll take a risk on it because I think something's going to happen. Which again, that's kind of never lies. And the one thing I would say with that is we have seen at different points throughout this process, the stock price do that, shoot up. And then when reports come out that the Glazers are like, oh, we're not too happy, it just goes back down.
Exactly.
So again, it's not to say that something negative couldn't happen tomorrow, but like I said, there's a story in that, certainly.
There is. Let's talk about the Mbappe thing, because...
Do you believe, Flex? Do you believe?
No, I said to you the other day, what was that today? Was that early?
It was today, this morning, which is interesting.
Let's just take Jassim get through the door first before we start doing all of that. But then it is a big revelation that he's decided that he's not going to sign a new deal next year. So his deal runs out at the end of this year, and no way can he go for free.
He's put PSG under pressure, essentially, because like I said, there was a part in his contract that said by a certain date he would have to inform them that he was not exercising this extra year in his contract. He signed a 2+1 deal, and he would have the choice over that extra year, in addition to PSG. But it was at certain different times, and I think it was before, sometime in July, he had to inform them that he wasn't extending his stay. So his contract runs out next year. And to your point, they're not doing a Spurs where they're saying, right, screw it, you're going to stay till next year and you're going to go on a free. They're not having that. So suddenly Kylian Mbappe is up for sale. Now, logically, you would say, well, that makes a ton of sense because Real Madrid have just lost Karim Benzema. Mbappe was going to go there a year ago, and then it didn't happen. He decided to stay for a crazy amount of money. It hasn't worked out at PSG in terms of the Champions League this season. There's an overhaul going on at the moment in PSG. The manager's been sacked. Messi's left. There's rumors Neymar could be going to Saudi. I don't think PSG would have ever anticipated going to the end of the summer and having none of those front three at the club,
which is mad.
Because
like we all said crazy. They need to rebuild that team around Mbappe again.
Around Mbappe.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, and this is what I was saying to you, I was messaging Flex, half in jest, but half sort of serious, by saying timing is everything in football. And that the thing, you know, I don't know what his relationship would be with, you know, Qatar in general, given that the fact that Romano's reporting this evening that the way that Mbappe has gone about this has actually quite pissed off people that own PSG, because by all accounts he released it to the media before he sent it to PSG, so they feel a little bit blindsided by it. So I don't know if it's as simple as, oh, he plays for a Qatari owned team, so he just go to another one in Manchester United. But at the same time, as I mentioned, timing's everything. Assets are assets, and at the very least, if Sheikh Jassim was successful in the very immediate future, i.e. in the next week or so, window only opens, in a couple of days' time. So there's plenty of time. And what better way to have a first statement signing than Kylian Mbappe? But I do think ultimately he'll probably go to Real Madrid. But as I mentioned, timing's everything. And I just feel like, I don't know if you can, I'm struggling to picture it. Like, if Man United get taken over by a very wealthy Qatari private individual, that will turn heads. And, you know, suddenly you might have more than one option. I don't know. I don't know. Timing is everything, though, isn't it? It really is.
It is. It depends. Like, if these things all happen around the same amount of time frame, i.e., Mbappe's had enough. Oh, it just so happens that they're being bought as well. Oh, it just so happens that you need a striker. Oh, all right. Well, let's have a look at it then. You know, there were reports today from British media. I think it was Ben Jacobs on the United Stand. He said that Man United won't change their transfer strategy just because, you know, Sheikh Jassim comes in. He's not just going to come in and do a madness.
But earlier today, they might not have known Kylian Mbappe was available. That's the difference, isn't it? You know, and again, ultimately, I'd be very, very surprised if he ended up at United. And again, we're assuming a lot here that, again, the information today's accurate. Sheikh Jassim's going to win, and then Mbappe would be willing to come to United. I mean, there's a lot of jumps involved here, and a lot of things have to line up, you know, for that even to happen. And part of me cynically just sort of go, well, let's be honest. Has he decided to write to PSG to say, oh, I'm going to be leaving next summer, based on Real Madrid picking up the phone, going, look, it's ready for you. The shirt's ready. Benzema's gone. You know, we just gave Vinny number 7. You can be the next number 9. Like, let's go. You know, we've got Bellingham. You know, we're building for the future. This is going to be we're doing the next era of Real Madrid. That's what we're doing. And he'd be sold on that. Of course he would. So,
because we could flip that to say, yeah, that means it will leave Kane alone as well. But the Kane thing's like, we ain't getting him anyway. It doesn't feel like.
It's a non-starter. Feels like at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that probably doesn't go into that. Let's get your super chats out, guys. Flex, check the link I sent. It says Memphis Depay. I don't know where you've sent that. But big up to you. Please be. Oh, I said that. John says, guys, do you know what happens to a journalist in the Gulf that reports fake news about a sheikh? This reporter has taken a big risk. JK says, until I see Sheikh Jassim with Ten Hag, only then. See the two of them hand in hand. Do you know what? Sheikh Jassim's so low-key, he'll probably win this thing and still won't be here.
It's only until the last couple of days that, you know, we've got more than one picture of him. You know,
exactly. Exactly. There is a ton of super chats here. Monty says, imagine Mbappe, Rashford. Yeah, we read that one. PSG want Rashford. Oh, no. Imagine Mbappe, Rashford swap. PSG want Rashford. Owen Style Advisor says, I see you guys more than my family. P.S. The pigeon was just mesmerized by your style, Owen, the one that landed on your head earlier. Kishan says, be fans for 1 minute. How would you react if Qatar is announced, followed by the signing of Mbappe? Oh, my God.
It'd be like the Vince McMahon meme when he crosses his eyes and he falls backward in the chair. It'd be like that.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
be.
yeah,
Let's not dress up as
That
well.
would be stupid if
I know
that
people saying
happened, yeah.
Mbappe not happening. Let's
Unbelievable.
face it, it's probably not happening. But he is one of. I mean, you're talking about the next generation of best players in the world. I mean, people talk about Haaland at the moment. Like
He's a Ballon d'Or winner. He's
Mbappe's
better than him.
there. Mbappe's there. Yeah, he's
Mbappe's
going to
better than
be
Haaland, yeah.
for the next generation. He's going to be the guy. He already kind of
Yeah.
is. You saw him at that World Cup. He was the guy at that World Cup. Apart from Messi, in the final, it was Messi versus Mbappe. That's the final.
And you know when you go, no player is bigger than Man United, and no player is or ever should be, but you can be at certain stages of where you are in a football cycle, i.e. Man United used to be on top winning everything with Sir Alex, and now we're not. And sometimes players can seem beyond you. Mbappe seems like a player who's beyond us right now. I know everything can change, but in terms of like, it's like Real Madrid is the one for him. It is like respectfully to us. Obviously, if we got him, oh my goodness, wow, that would just be. But it feels like we can't get him. Like Haaland, City, it works. It's matrimony, isn't it? It's his step up versus where their level is, and now look at them. But Mbappe just feels like he's out of our grasp, out of our reach. Pahiv says, my mum works at beIN Sports in Doha, and I asked her if she knew anything. She just said it's going to happen. Probably just optimism, but got to trust my mum. Listen,
always
it's your mum. You got to trust your mum. You got to trust your mum. Black Confetti says, when Fabrizio drops that "Here we go, Qatar acquired Man United for a record big, the City treble won't even make news again for weeks." Do you know what? That's actually quite interesting, because if we did at any stage, anywhere near now, announce that there is a winner, it would put that on the back burner in terms of media, 100%.
Oh my goodness me! I mean,
the media wouldn't give a crap about City's treble.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to be salty. It's their day, it's their time, fine. But that is true.
Oh yeah, man, and not just sports media. Again, it's already permeated sports media. We got, again, economics, just general mainstream media. It'd be everywhere. I mean, it's a world record bid. You know what I mean? Of the biggest football club in the world changing hands. That'd be, it'd be massive news. Of course, it would be. It'd be insane.
It really would. It really, really would. Black Confetti says, oh yeah, here we go. Anthony Tracy says, deep pocketed owner. Tick transfer window. Mbappe glazes out. Black Confetti also says Qatar bid news and Mbappe contract news. 2 + 2 = 4. Paulie says, wonder how much of this is tied to Mbappe not renewing. I'm speculating, but how PSG is falling apart is a bit odd. Big up Flex, been watching since United stand. Appreciate that, Paul. Imagine that. PSG just capitulates and like the new Qatar thing for them.
The irony of ironies would be is that Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe leave, and then they win the Champions League or something ridiculous like that.
Oh my God, imagine. Yeah, that would be mad. Ahmed, big up to you. Ahmed says, Wall Street is highly dependent on very sophisticated and specialized AI bots. And Lil Yo-Yo says, who told you bad can't dance? New J Huss song, Owen. New J Huss song. Who told you?
I was going to say, I was literally going to, I was going to respond to say, who told you? I thought it was a literal question. Who told you? Because I would assume anyone, in terms of their character, good or bad, personality type, it's all dependent on rhythm and physical ability. But it's not an actual question. I now know it's a song. So
it's a song. It's going to be a summer hit. It's on everyone's TikTok right now. Everyone's Insta. J Huss just dropped with Drake. It's a big deal. It's just and Drake does ruin the song. Says Winter. He does. He's not that good on it, but it's a song. Maybe after this, maybe take a listen to it. You might like it. It's a summer anthem. You can't catch you. I mean, Red Baron says, watch the Premier League stamp down on state ownership now. Well, we've spoken a little bit about that, haven't we? About what that would look like and how things can be circumnavigated. And you've got, the Saudis owning.
City just won the treble.
Newcastle. City just won the treble, with 115 pending charges. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Paulie says, Owen, you have such a pundit voice, mate. Love your segments. Cheers, lads. Y'all make the drive home pleasant. Do you know what, Owen? That is very much, Paulie. True. That is, as when I was watching, remember that day when I rang you and I was like, nah, you're actually sick.
Oh, and I
know
wanted
you
to
don't
hang
like
up.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to hang up, it made you feel sick. But that, when you just listen to you do have a professional pundit voice. You do.
Yeah.
Ashland says, I don't know if you're going for that sound or not, but but you have it. Ashland says the vice chair of Qatari/Canadian Business Council, Zahid Hamdan, has just publicly congratulated Sheikh Jassim on buying United on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, must be said, he is the chairman of the Armistice Group, vice chairman of the Canadian Qatari Business Council, bridging the Middle East and the West. But he says views are his own. So, it might just be one of those. But he might be like a lot of people just hearing rumors going, oh, congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. KG's hairstylist, actually, this would be a good time to summarize, actually. Says, what's happened? Can you summarize, please? What's happened is, well, Owen, do you want to say what's happened?
I can summarize.
In an official summary.
In an abridged version. So essentially, Al Watan, which is a daily morning Arabic language political newspaper based in Doha, of course, Qatar. And the key thing here is that it's owned 50% ownership is by Hamid bin Jassim Al Thani. That is Sheikh Jassim bin Hamid Al Thani's father. They are reporting this evening that, and again, this is translated, the success of Sheikh Jassim bin Hamid Al Thani's acquisition of Manchester United is essentially done, and the announcement of the deal is coming soon. The editor of the same outlet said that all news received indicates the success of Sheikh Jassim bin Hamid Al Thani's acquisition of Manchester United, and again, the announcement of the deal will be very soon. Because of that, the stock price has kind of gone crazy this evening. After closing at a share price of $20.13, we're now up to around 23, actually reached peaks of about $24. It's going a bit up and down, but the point being is there's been a big spike. You've also got the likes of BBC economic editors as well, reporting that there's something going on with the stock price. Again, just to be clear, no real confirmation from domestic journalists or journalists from Europe, really, actually, not even just in terms of the UK, European journalists as well. So you could argue take it with a pinch of salt, but it is significant because the outlet in question is owned by the father of the bidder. And also it's really the first time you would think they've actually spoken out, tweeted or posted about this takeover. So that's kind of the latest, is that according to Qatari media, they're claiming that the takeover is near done, or at least done, and an announcement regarding the completion of said takeover is coming very soon.
There's your summary. KG's lifestyle, hairstylist, sorry. Rafa says, Rafa Antoine has been a member for 11 months. Says, mad late, happy to catch you two live. Much love to the UV fam. Can't wait for the 200k party. Let's go, community. Yeah, 100%. We'll have to have a 200k.
We're, by the way, 13 subscribers away from 142,000. 13.
We're gonna do it.
You can see it on the screen. Yeah, we're currently at 141,987. 13 away. Can we do it? Of course we can. Again, statistically, because this is what YouTube tells us, is that there will be non-subscribers watching. I do it myself, where there are channels that I watch every day that for whatever reason, I'm not so engrossed with the content that you go, I'm just gonna this. I forget.
Just forget.
Now's the time.
Yeah, and you even leave the video, everything.
Yeah,
it could be a channel you even type in and go, yeah, all the time.
You search for it every day. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Only 4 left now, Fleck. 4.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
2
minutes. I'm sure. Oh, we've done it.
It's been done. 142,000 on the dot. What an evening.
And 42,000 UV subscribers. You guys are dope, unbelievable. And I think at peak numbers, we had
a record,
nearly 5,000 people watching live, didn't we?
Yeah,
it was insane. So big up to everyone. Late night, quarter to midnight as well, and you guys are still here, repping with us as well on a record-breaking stream. If it's like this now, imagine what it'll be like on Official Word. Actually, and you know what? I hate to be pessimistic. Official Word on anything,
either way. Official Word on this, either way.
Official Word, yeah, that's what I mean. Nathan says, Zaid Al Hamdan tweeted congratulating, which we just spoke about. He's followed by Jassim's pops. This is happening. Let's go, KG style. Lil Yo says, Owen sounds like he's presenting the 10 o'clock news.
Bong.
Yeah. And Dexter, the Jamaican, says, greetings from Jamaica. Really hope this is true. We need this type of investment in the club to be able to really compete at a top level with City. 100% big up to all my Jamaicans as well. Everyone back home there in Jamaica watching, and everyone in the Caribbean as well. Being Caribbean myself and Jamaican myself, big up to you. It feels like something's happening. So this, that guy, he's followed by Jassim's pops, and he's congratulating him. I don't know. It just feels.
I mean, you don't want to get too much into the weeds
we
of,
can't
they're followed by that person, all that kind of stuff. What you do want to focus on, as you mentioned earlier on, is the facts. And the facts are that this outlet are saying that this is happening. Or it's, I mean, again, I keep having to correct myself. They're not saying this is happening. They've said it's happened. You know what I mean? They're saying that, again, an announcement's coming soon, which, again, is really, really interesting too.
Yeah, that is what's mad. Is the claim that they're actually dropping. Like you said, they're not going soft. They're saying, "Yo, congratulations."
Yeah.
I am coast to coast, been a member for 3 months. Says, "Let's go, man." Unbelievable stream, guys. Unbelievable stream. But more importantly, unbelievable breaking news tonight. Really, however you want to look at it, whether you think it's confirmed that it's done or not, it was breaking news tonight. Took a while to gather, took a while to build up momentum, but it has been breaking news and it's been insane. Something feels like it's happening. Hopefully it's what we want to hear. It's what we want to see. But we'll have to wait for tomorrow. Owen, predictions for tomorrow. Just before you do that, actually, King Co says, let's go. Big up UV. Love all the works you do. Side note, KG did say Thursday comes close to screen. Might be earlier. Imagine KG said Thursday and all of a sudden it's like Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. Owen, prediction. What do you think happens over the next day or so?
Tomorrow, I think we wait with bated breath to hear something between, again, the early hours and before the stock market opens. And I don't think we hear anything tomorrow. I think that we might be waiting because that's what we've done throughout this entire thing is wait. And I think we might wait some more. Maybe Wednesday. I'm going to go with Wednesday. I'll do a KG. But I'm feeling that, again, this was significant. What do you think? Do you think we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and they go, it was all bullshit?
No, I think that the domestic journalists regurgitate this. I think they say some confusion as Qatar outlets claim there is a clear winner, and they will probably try and keep it coy. There is no front runner, as our sources, or they won't say our sources have told us, but they'll be like, as of now, no front runner and no end date in sight. Something like that. Something to bring it down.
It will say, despite reports from the country to the contrary, there is no preferred bidder in the Manchester United takeover race. Talks are ongoing, blah, 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 blah. That's probably what will happen.
It will be that. That's what it'll be. And then all their mentions will be filled up with Man United fans saying, "You're a hater." So they're in for a rough day tomorrow when they start getting active. If they haven't seen it now and they're all sleeping, or if they're preparing what to say and speaking to their superiors to work out what, because that is another thing that they'll probably be doing as well. Working out, what's the good line, what versus what's not a good line, speaking to their sources, speaking to their intel, their info. To decide what line to go with. So they need to get it right, because if they get it wrong, they're going to look very silly and they're going to lose a lot of credibility throughout this process. I Am the Truth says, sack Clown Haag, Mason Mount, and take Pep ASAP. Come on, stop being silly. And Harold Van Dyke says, he's a new member. So big up to you, Harold. Thank you for joining the membership. It's 10 to midnight. What a stream, record-breaking stream. We'll be back in the morning. Big up to Erica Roof, the latest member of the UV Members Club as well, who just literally joined on the way out. You guys have smashed it. We've got 1,500 likes. I don't think we've ever done that before in a show. So, guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Fabrizio has tweeted. Is that true just before? Let's have a look. I don't think he has.
Double check. Yeah, it might be again. Be wary of these fake
parodies.
Yeah.
I think
it's not true.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Smash a like on the video if you haven't done already. Thank you for subscribing if you have done already. If you haven't, you know where the subscribe button is. What a show. Let's get some rest. Let's get a bit of calm. Let's get a bit of woosah and see where this thing goes. Something significant today. Yes, it has been, but it isn't done. Okay, guys, it's not done. Keep calm and let's see what happens. We'll see you in the morning. Take care. Peace.